Hi, it's Nat Black at Crafts. Today I'm doing day 6 of the Spellbinders 13 days of craftoween, and it is this little man here. He's got his little Halloween outfit on, so I'm going to show you what I made with that, and it is here. I don't know, when I saw this little die, I just saw this like little Polaroid picture. You know, someone's taken a picture of him on Halloween night and that's what he looked like. So I'm going to show you how to make that. Okay, so I'm going to do an orange version. So I have a card base that measures 5 7/8 by 8 1/4, scored at 4 1/8 along the 8 1/4 side, and then I've scored that. And then I have a piece of this designer series paper from the paper pack that I have, and that measures 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. So we're going to stick that down. So grab your adhesive of choice. I like the glue. And we're just going to pop that onto our card base. Making sure that's all even. Okay, so that's our card base. Then I have a piece of white cardstock and a piece of black. The white card base measures 10 centimeters by 8 centimeters, and the black measures 8 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters, and that is basically it's going to sit on your white, so you've got that Polaroid picture going on there. So what I did is I've grabbed my Win Castella. I love this stuff. This is the gold. And I'm just going to flick some gold just along the top so it looks like we've got a bit of a starry night going on. So if we do that now, we can let that dry. Well, I've just, well, you can see that, I've just popped that all along the top. Then I've got my green. So what I did is I've cut a piece of green that measures the same width as my black. And I'm going to do some grass. Now you can either draw this or cut it, or if you've got a die to do your grass, you know, that's up to you. But I just do some grass blades with my pencil, and then I'm just going to cut that out. It won't be spot on, but it just gives me a rough idea of how I want my grass to be. So we're going to do grass at the bottom, and then I'm going to do another piece just sitting behind it. And I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending on this grass, and I'm going to pop a little bit of black just to go over the top of it. I'll just cut that bit out. So that's our first piece. Just going to do that a little bit. That's better. So that's our first piece. And then we're going to do a second piece as well. I don't like that bit, so I'm going to go, and I'm just going to do this by cutting it. I'm not going to draw anything out. Okay, so we've got 2 pieces of grass. Going to grab my can't talk today. I'm going to grab my black and I'm just going to ink blend just on the top of our grass. So it doesn't matter if you do the pencil lines because you're just going to ink blend that out. So we've just given that a little bit of black. So if we bring back our black piece, I'm going to sit one piece a little bit higher and then this piece will sit at the bottom. So I'm going to stick those down. So I do a piece just there, so we can then stick our bottom piece, making sure there's no black that you can see. And that bit will just sit on top. So it's good when you're using the liquid glue because you've got a little bit of time to just sort of move it about. So I hope that's okay. So that's our grass. And then I've done a moon. And all I did with the moon is I've got loads. I've got like drawerfuls of scrap paper. So I've just got a piece of white scrap paper. I'm going to use a little bit of, this is a bit yellow and a bit of orange really. So I'm just going to do the corner. So I'm going to do a little bit just in the corner there. Then I've got my purple. I'm just going to go over that with a little bit of purple. Then I've got my red. And we'll just do a little bit of red. We'll just blend that in. Go over that with a little bit more yellow. And then with that, I mean, you know, you can die cut that out. You paper punches. I've just got a washi tape. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to cut that out. Let's do around about that sort of size. So I've just done a little semicircle there and I'm just going to cut that out. Just so we can pop that in the corner of our little Polaroid picture. Just going to go over that with a little bit more purple. And then I'm going to do a little bit of black just on the outside. And there we've got our little moon. So I'm going to pop the moon just in the corner there. So pop a little bit of glue. And we just pop our moon just in the corner of our little card there. And I am just going to pop a few little bits of Wink Stella just on that moon as well. Okay, so then also I've got this from, oh, this is the Scary Silhouettes dies. This is from Stampin' Up. And I cut out a little house. So I'm going to pop a little bit of green just along the bottom. And then I've got my black. And I'm just going to do a little bit of ink blending just along the top bit of the house there. Like so. And then underneath I've just cut out a little bit of green. And I'm going to stick that just behind the house. That way. That's the way I cut it. So it looks like we've got green windows. Okay. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on the back. Oh, here we go. just so we can pop our green behind. Like that. So it looks like we've got the green windows there. See, I've still got my nails on. I can't believe they're still on. Absolutely fabulous. A little bit of advertising for them. Lily and Fox, I found these. They're really good. And I also got Christmas ones. And I got those. They're going to look fab on Halloween. So that's our house. And then this, I'm going to tuck just behind the grass. I'm going to stick that down. So we've got a little haunted house in the background. And then I have these little bats also from the Stampin' Up! Scary Silhouettes dies. And I've just cut them out in some black glitter cardstock. So we will pop a couple of those just on our moon. A little bit fiddly. And we'll pop one just down there as well. And then I've also cut out this little man. So I've cut him out in some glow-in-the-dark cardstock. This again is a Stampin' Up! That I got a couple of years ago. I haven't done this on camera purely because it is fiddly. There's a lot of little bits and bobs. So I've just cut him out. I'm going to pop him up on some dimensionals just to raise him up just a little bit. I'm going to do another one there. And then we'll pop him on our little scene that we've made. I reckon he will sit around about there. And then with this, we're going to pop that onto our white piece. But before we do that, I'm just going to go around the edges just with a little bit of black, just to make it look a little bit older looking. Like so. And then he's going to go on there. Before we do that, I'm going to just do a little sentiment. This is from the stamp set that comes with it. And I've got Have a Bone Rattling Halloween. And I'm going to do that in Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to pop that just at the bottom of our Polaroid. Like that. Look at that before I get it everywhere. And I'm going to pop some glue on the back of this. So we've got our little Polaroid picture. I used to love a Polaroid. I've still got my Polaroid up in the loft actually. I used to take so many Polaroid pictures, stick them all on my wall. And we just sit him down there. So there's our little Polaroid picture. It's really cute, isn't he? And then I'm going to stick that. I'm going to stick that at a little bit of an angle. And again, I'm going to use glue because we've already popped our little skeleton up on some dimensionals. So we've got a little bit of height there. So I'm just going to pop him in the middle of the card. Like that. And there's our little picture with our little Polaroid. He's fab, isn't he? Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll be back soon with day 7. Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.